App Store. That's the number 1, followed by the words Spot Media. We begin with another report of murder and mayhem as 2 men were shot dead on Sunlight Street in Maxfield Avenue in St. Andrew this morning. The men have been identified as Fabian Atkinson, 34, and Julio Daniels, alias Cooley, 31 years old. 2 children aged 12 and 14 were also injured in the incident. Information reaching our news center is that shortly before 5 o'clock this morning, gunmen entered residence of the men and ordered 2 women who were also occupants of the house to leave. The gunmen then fired shots, killing Fabian and Cooley. One resident expressed shock at the killing.
Friday night and by fry some chicken neck and back and all them things.
Head of the Corporate Communications Unit in the JCF, Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, says the killings are as a result of an ongoing gang feud. In the meantime, former People's National Party PNP Member of Parliament Damien Crawford is laying blame at the foot of the government for the ongoing crime problem in Jamaica. Mr. Crawford made the pronouncement at a recent PNP divisional meeting in Westmoreland.
So when there's a spike in crime, how long government take to respond? Him control police, him control soldier, him control policy, him control money, him control everything in the response. The difference that we have seen now, come here people say PMP they have high crime too. But the spike never lasts so long under PMP because we were able to use the things that were the variables to respond. So how the JLP plan to make sure so we feel comfortable is to label a community criminal. So therefore Jack still no same night. But the last time when them look for dodos are up in our rich community, me see them go shoot up, you know. So the fact that you will label a community by its income. When them say crime pays, I mean I say none of those crime communities have money. So who is it paying?
A security guard has been charged in connection with the June 23 fatal shooting of 36-year-old Hailey Clacken in Cheapside, St. Elizabeth. He is 38-year-old Sean Cole of a Manchester address. He was charged yesterday with murder and is scheduled to appear in the St. Elizabeth Parish Court tomorrow. Mr. Clacken, who is mentally ill, was shot after climbing on top of an armored truck. Residents of Cheapside expressed anger at the shooting, claiming that Mr. Clacken was not a danger to the security guard. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Foreign Affairs Minister KAMINA Johnson-Smith are now locked in a meeting with their regional counterparts discussing issues of relevance to the integration of our region. Our reporter Andrea Chisholm is in Grenada covering the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting and now joins us live with some updates on the issues. Andrea?
Thank you very much, Herman. Well, CARICOM Heads of Government will continue today to discuss a number of challenges facing the region. Foreign Affairs Minister KAMINA Johnson-Smith says she will be raising the issue of the post-Brexit negotiations with the United Kingdom. Yesterday, she met with Australia's Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop, and they discussed a number of issues, including Australia's human rights agenda. Of course, Australia is batting for a seat on the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. They also discussed small island developing states and the issue of climate change.
Australia is supporting a program for Guardians of the Reef. So we're now having reef rehabilitation programs in Jamaica. There are about 3 pilots now with the support of the Australian government. So we're pleased to discuss that type of support from them and look at how we can together expand.
The political crisis in Venezuela continues to be a talking point as well. Herman, yesterday the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell, called for CARICOM countries to unite to find a solution to the ongoing political crisis. As you will recall, Grenada was one of those countries that voted to abstain from the resolution that was brought by the General Assembly of the Organization of American States.
As proud independent nations with a shared history of anti-colonial struggle, we approach these issues, rightfully so, with a particular mindset. Indeed, when certain international advocates whisper aloud about the unconstitutional regime change, we must give pause. But pause must not result in paralysis. Our inaction must not be a consequence of our suspicion. Colleagues, as a region, as neighbors, we need to be concerned about the anomalies and excesses and about extremism on all sides of the fence.
Herman, it's back to you in studio.
Thank you, Andrea. Our reporter, Andrea Chisholm, reporting from Grenada, which is covering the Heads of Government meeting, the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, that is. Back home, the government is embarking on a 4-year program aimed at enhancing the legislative framework to reduce pollution. The National Sustainable Consumption and Production Program, to be implemented through the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, will be formally launched today. It is being undertaken through funding from the government of Japan in partnership with the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. This will coincide with activities of the Working Group on Plastic Packaging. The group is to submit its recommendations to Cabinet before the end of the second quarter of the 2018-2019 fiscal year. Flights from Germany into Jamaica are to increase after one of that country's leading airlines, Eurowings, started flying to Jamaica on Monday. The flights are scheduled to arrive in the island twice weekly.
Jamaica is onto a very good path. We're getting more rooms, we're getting more airlift, we're getting more visitors, we're earning more, and we need to do one more thing. We need to retain more of the dollar in Jamaica.
Tourism Minister EDMUND BARTLETT said there has been a 24% increase in the number of tourists arriving from Germany. In the first 4 months of the year, close to 10,000 tourists visited from that country.
We're aiming for 50,000 by 2020, and with the development with Eurowings today, and something else about Condor in the winter. That Munich flight has been split between ourselves and Cuba for the last few years. This coming winter, it's a dedicated Jamaican flight. So that will give us even more of an opportunity to get towards that 50,000.
The Southeast Regional Health Authority has partnered with the National Health Fund to renovate the Hagley Park Health Center in Kingston. Residents can now benefit from the Type 3 primary health care facility. The health facility caters for over 14 communities. Health Minister Dr. Christopher TUFTON addressed the importance of having the health facility reopened.
Good public health starts with engaging people at the community level. Oftentimes, we talk about healthcare and we focus primarily on how many hospitals we have, how many hospital beds are available or not available, how many people waiting in accident and emergency.
This improved facility is more comfortable and will mean better quality health care for all of you. The staff will be able to treat more patients and they will have more comfortable workspaces, and that will positively impact their output. In addition to the roof and floors, there are covered walkways and awnings, new sanitary facilities, air conditioning, fire safety features, and access for disabled persons.
And it's time now for a look at what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In the next edition of the Health Report, we'll look at the importance of community health aids.
During the early years of life, what is laid down is how you will view the world for the rest of your life. If your needs are not met, then you are going to see the world as not a nurturing place, a world as a hostile place, and therefore you will react that way for the rest of your life. If during the first years you are well nurtured, then you see the world as a trusting, nurturing place, a good place.
That's the Health Report this evening in Primetime News. And now for today's Healthy Living tip. Community health aides play an important role in ensuring that persons have access to medical treatment. They do door-to-door visits to the elderly, the disabled, and those otherwise unable to make it to a doctor's office. They often assist in providing food packages for the elderly and less fortunate, and they teach mothers how to interact with their child or children.
We go now to news overseas. At least 47 people have been killed and 22 missing due to severe flooding in China. Heavy rains pelted southern China, flooding towns, cutting off power and destroying houses. Water levels in more than 60 different rivers have risen above warning levels, forcing more than 1.2 million people to evacuate. Authorities said more than 38,000 homes have collapsed and nearly 880,000 hectares of crops have been damaged. The Chinese government said it has disbursed $103 million in emergency aid to help southern China provinces deal with the flooding. It should be another night of thrills and excitement when the favorite Shakima Mr. Smooth Mullings meets the rejuvenated TSETSI Lights Out Davis in the first semi-final of the Ray and Nevia Contender Series over 7 rounds on Wednesday at the MICA University.
It's a repeat of the 2014 welterweight final where Shakima Mr. Smooth Mullings recorded a unanimous decision victory over TSETSI Lights Out Davis over 10 rounds. Both boxers are coming off good quarterfinal victories. Mullings had a split decision win over Larone White, while Davis had an impressive split decision victory over the Canadian #1 ranked boxer Ryan Young. Most boxing fans saw that performance as one of the best fights produced by Davis during the past few years. Even Mullings is well aware of Davis's current form.
Well, he showed that he's still a strong, rejuvenated, capable fighter in his last performance. And they say you're only as good as your last fight. So if we're judging him off of his last fight, it was a very good win. You know, so after this one, we're gonna have to judge him after tomorrow night.
Train hard, and everybody ever wants to see a good show. You know, I have a good show tonight. So we train hard for everything we do. We train hard. So a better show, better last time, better this trip. So ready for work.
Evidence of the boxer's fitness was shown as Mullings tipped the scale at 154 pounds, while Davis, who is a natural middleweight, came in at 153.5 pounds. Mullings' record stands at 24 fights with 21 wins and 14 by knockout, while Davis has 23 fights, 18 wins and 5 knockouts.
We just show Jamaica so we are the best in the island and things. So we just come to work, we just go to work because we're coaches, we ain't sharp work with me, all my team, everybody wrote work and everybody with and things. So we just thumbs up to everybody and so forth. So we come to work, we say we got work.
I have high expectations for myself also. And I put in a lot of work for this fight, and we've been 100% focused. And you know, everything's gonna play out in the ring tomorrow.
Meanwhile, 2 losing preliminary round boxers will get another chance to showcase their skills on the undercard. DEVON Concrete MONCRIFFE faces Winston Matthews of Canada in a middleweight fight over 5 rounds.
You don't know, I'm not out, and then say once you're not dead, you can't forget a man, And I always come out as a fighter, And I always put up a show for my Jamaica fellow brothers, them. And I always like to see me fight. So this time I go out there, I put up my best, and if my best is good enough, I'm going to win.
Just put in that hard work in the ring, Maybe I was a little anxious last time, but I'm a little more comfortable right now, and I'm just here to fight my fight.
Both boxers tipped the scale at 158 pounds, and you can see the live action on TVJ this Wednesday starting at 9:30 p.m.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the primetime news package. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.